is there more soldiers on the other side of that EMA? Did they go pick up new soldiers? Because, you know, now that it's weak, kind of give y'all a little background, right? I love trading. I've done trading for a long period of time, and oh, come on, 4:30. Come on. Let's go. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of After the Trades Alert Edition. We're gonna break down a couple of the alerts that came through on last week and review a couple of them that went as well. That said, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button. That way you know when I'm online. And also, album's coming soon. Yes, Complete Trading Mindset album is coming soon, and I'm excited. Look forward to releasing that. If you want more information, follow me on JD_the_Great on Instagram. All right, so without further ado, oh, good morning. Welcome. I appreciate you tapping in. All right, so let's start with ARM. So ARM is popping up on the 2-hour chart, showing that there is an opportunity. Let's go ahead and see what that opportunity would look like. And I do not have my, let me just go ahead and put that in there. Pac-Man. Where are you? There we go. All right. So on the 2-hour, basically was letting us know that there is a sell opportunity on ARM, and this is what the setup was. If you were on the system, you'll notice that we did close below that level if you follow the fib rules, and you'll see our entry was at 131, and pre-market we're already close to take profit. So this trade is already ran away, so this looks really good. So let's go ahead and keep this party going. The next one I have is COM. Now this one more than likely is a share version. Let me make sure. Yeah, this one, a couple of individuals asked me for things that are tradable by shares, and this is one of them. And you can kind of see here is our extension. We did not get a close below, so keep an eye out for COM if you do want to trade shares. If you find an option contract that fits the mode, that's fine, but to be honest, this is mostly for share shorters. And then the entry is below $19.35, and we can go ahead and short it down to $18. So if you have 100 shares, that should be about $100. That's the game. All right, so let's go ahead and keep this going. We got QBTS. If you don't know who this is part of the quantum space. This one, the shares and the options should be solid for you. Let's go ahead and look what this will look like. That is our entry. Our entry is at $25.70 as we target as low as $19.89. Let's see if that pans out. We got ourselves Galaxy. GLXY. All right. We already took, oh, actually, Interesting. This must have been a setup on the 15-minute or pre. Oh, okay. I got it. There you go. It's right there. So we had a nice little setup to the downside, and there was basically no entry for the most part, because when it came into this area, what did it do? It pushed right on back up. This was your close below, but by then they already triggered another signal, and that's why we kind of left that alone. But here comes it again. Let's go ahead and see what that would look like. Let's put a nice little fib here. Bang. All right, we already got our entry established ever since 11:30, 1:30, somewhere around that ballpark, and we got a nice little stride getting close to the TP1, which is about $1.50 move to the downside. Let's see what the pre-market actually does when it's all said and done. Got a little bit of a push to the upside, but we're targeting $26, $26.04 to be exact. All right, let's keep this going. We got SMR. Boom. I got the right one. SMR, yeah. All right, back in the share space. Oh yeah, this one's already gone too. You gotta close right in that level. We're way too close to the TP. Getting a little bit of a bounce. Let's see if we can get to $17.17. If not, maybe even $15 as we continue to short a lot of things that's in the market. That was at 11:30. Let's see what happened with some of the stuff that came in at this point. I think I already went over it on Friday, but for giggles, let's go ahead and see Lululemon. So Lululemon, we had a nice little setup that was actually showing up over here, but it also had a setup on the 15-minute for scalps. That's why I got a different target over here versus the other. But let's go ahead and look right over here on this entry, and you'll see that was our play. That was a solid, beautiful play for you to play it to the upside, but that scalp shot up all the way to this level. And that's, that's TP2 on a short-term swing. And then for the scalp, it went bananas only because the catalyst was earnings. All right. And then the last one, VST. This one was moving a little bit sideways. We still haven't seen a real true move to the downside. You should be out of the trade, especially when it touches that stop loss roughly around here. If you took it, or if you waited and you got in at this level, it hit TP1 and you should be out, because if you go for TP2, there's a chance that they could go ahead and retrace on you. All right, so let's see what else we got in here that happened on Friday. We had Google sales on the scalp. Now Google sales, this one was a very interesting one, because on the 15-minute, what ended up happening, right, we had a nice little move early in the morning to the upside. It hit TP1, but then they also sweep liquidity back to the opposite side right after. So you could have got a 2-for-1 right there, because if you just reverse your trade right here, you would have been in for this move right there, and it hit TP1 as well. So $1 up, $1, well, mostly like $2 up, right? Because it kind of started from 08. About $2 up, $1 back down, and then you can see it gapped right up with the pre-market. So this was just a nice little retracement for those to step back in. And if you went to a higher time frame, like maybe a 2-hour, you probably would have seen that we got ourselves a nice little solid base, and that's probably what they're going after with this fair value gap. So they don't just run with the alerts because the alert says so. You still got to put some thesis when it's all said and done. This was the entry right at 12 o'clock. You should have been taking your profit because it did get to 310, but it also swept liquidity, and you could have reversed, took a nice little scalp, and made your money. All right. What else came in on the 12th? We had Apple. Now, Apple did some funky stuff. I didn't really like what it did, but this is why you have protections, just to kind of give you a sense of it. So we had a nice little push to this upside, right? And when we had the push to the upside, if you came in on this candle, you could see we struggled to get above 79 and 80. That should be a sign. Maybe you get ready for an average down, maybe reposition, or whatever the case may be. And then they get a second close, but we still can't get over this high. So just because the alert says this is your entry and our target is over here at 280, does not mean that it's going to go there. And that's exactly what happened. Roughly around 11 o'clock, the indicator basically got real tired of all the playing around, taking too long because there's a time factor to it. And it basically said you should have got hit with your stop loss, get out of the trade, take your losses around 277.44, which is 277.73. Right there was that stop loss. All right. What else is here? We got Uber. Let's see what this bad boy is doing. All right, so we got, oh, this one really printed. Oh, should have played this one. Oh, well, live to fight another day. This is Uber. We had a nice little push to the downside. This is your close. This is your close. It did not signal to get out of the trade. So as it's coming down, you can make a decision on, oh, this looks like an M pattern. Maybe I'll get into the trade based on the parameter, even though our entry is over here. Still, I want you to use some trader logic, trader fundamentals, and still don't abandon your strategy. Look where it's stopping, right at TP1, which is a very, very solid move if you were able to weather the storm. For my new traders, I totally understand. You probably got stopped out with a small profit or a small loss, and then you just left it alone, and that's perfectly okay. Do not get the FOMO. Do not chase this, because they can refill this gap when the market opens. All right, what else do we got? Oh, Costco. Now, Costco was a little bit of a jerk, right? And I'm not happy with a Costco, right? Costco, for the most part, I was looking for it to play to the downside, which was based on the parameters here. But what's very funny is that I later on got a signal on the 2-hour that look very similar to this, right? So it basically said, oh, well, we got even more of an extension. So since I was still in that trade, I was going to add another one if we close below this level based on the 2-hour alert. And yeah, they give me that. And my one contract is kind of being bled a little dry. But we got a nice little drop with the pre-market. I'll see if I can recoup some of that money, even though I kind of carried it over the weekend. But we'll see how the market holds. But so far, no alert saying get out of the trade yet. And I think the parameter to that is the fact that we have not made any higher highs, even though we made this W. Let's see if there's some liquidation, comes back, maybe give us another re-entry, because there is a bit of a kick down here. Oh, actually, nope. Did they rebalance it? Nope, they rebalanced it. Never mind that. We just got a couple of bullish fair value gaps that they could be taking profits on. All right, and then the last two, of course, I already went over Apple, is Newmont. So the last one, and then we'll wrap it here, is Newmont. Now, Newmont is one of those where when you see this, say, hey, we're getting out, this is also driven by gold. So if you're charting gold, you can kind of get a sense of what's going on. Gold dropped, it dropped too. But look at what happens here. We are very close to getting back to the entry. So maybe they just sweep liquidity. Maybe this is a pivot point. Maybe it gets above this entry again. If you want to set an alert at 101, 102, just to kind of see what happens, I will not be surprised we go to TP1 because we fail to make any lower lows, even though the alert system is done with the trade. So just keep that in mind when you're dealing with the market. That said, I want to say thank you for chiming in with me. It was just a quick little recap. I will be back on at 11:30 to see how the rest of the trades are going. And if you want more information, by all means, send me a message, JD_the_great on Instagram, and I will be more than happy to help you with any questions. That said, have a great day. See you later. Bye-bye.